This video is going to go over why the INTJs love the ESFJs. And I know I'm going to get a lot of smack from my INTJ community when I say this, but as an INTJ myself, you guys are one of my favorite type of people out there. You guys are easily one of the top 3 types for me. Actually, you guys are a solid 3rd place. 1st and 2nd, I have no idea who that is, but you guys are for sure number 3. It's taken me a while to make this video because ESFJs are so underrepresented in the MBTI community because you guys are probably out there living life, hanging out with friends and family, and don't really care much about this type of topic. But I want to make sure that when I do discuss the ESFJs, that I do you justice. So sit back, relax. This is an INTJ that honestly loves and admires the ESFJs for who you guys are and what you guys bring to the world. Let's begin. As with all my videos, I like to start off by providing anecdotal stories so there's a human aspect to what I'm talking about. First and foremost, my mom's an ESFJ and I love her. My mom is one of my best friends. On top of that, one of my best friend who I've known for 24 years, he's an ESFJ. We've known each other since we were 11 years old and we're going on close to 40 and we're still really close friends. One of my babies that I helped raise, she's an ESFJ and I'm so proud of her because she's going to school to be a nurse right now. In addition to that, I've met a lot of great ESFJs in my life. Really quick story. I was around 2 ESFJ buddy of mine and we're all really drunk and we're just talking about life because the bar's closed and we were at one of their place. I was trying to get one of my ESFJ to open up to kind of understand himself. And it was like a 20-30 minute conversation. We got to the point where we were both getting kind of frustrated. I'm like, well, how do you know this about yourself? And he's like, why do I need to know this? And then the 3rd ESFJ came in and asked me, John, did you ask him if he cares to know more about himself? And it was a light bulb moment because for me, it's so natural to want to understand yourself more. So I asked him, I asked my ESFJ friend, do you care to know yourself more? And his answer is no. If other people like him, that's enough for him to be happy. Self-reflection or actually understanding his own values or pillar was not a priority to him. And I say was because I don't know if it changed for him or not. Another anecdotal story is when an ESFJ friend of mine straight up told me he was so proud of himself because he made a purchase and he didn't ask anyone else. We're in our mid-30s and he specifically told me this is the first time in his life where he made a big decision by himself, that he didn't ask for anyone's input, that he didn't allow other people to influence what he thought about making that purchase. As an INTJ, I do that every day. Other people's opinion never matters to me. So for my friend who's in his mid-30s to actually say this is the first time, it blew my mind because that's such a different way to live life. But that doesn't mean I got along with every single ESFJ that I've met. There are ESFJs out there that I met and we just have nothing in common. We have so little in common that we're kind of acquaintances, even though we're friends within our group of friends. It's kind of odd, but that's just the way it is. Adding on to that topic as well, it's never been really easy being an INTJ engaging with ESFJs because we do see the world in very different lenses. Every relationship that I have with ESFJ, it's built through a lot of struggles. We would go through a struggle together and we would listen to each other and just come out stronger. ESFJs, I know you guys try to be as welcoming as possible, but you guys aren't that easy for intuitives, especially introverted intuitives. This is a very safe space, but that doesn't mean there's no judgment. Let's be honest. As an ESFJ, you can't help but judge other people based on their actions. But the way that you guys are able to engage the INTJ after you make the initial judgment, it's completely different from anyone else. You guys allow us to do what we want to do. And the reason why you guys allow us to do what we want to do is because you don't think we're serious. It's so funny engaging with ESFJs because I would tell them my plan and they will laugh it off like, haha, John, you're so crazy. John, quit joking around. I've had that reaction with every single one of the ESFJs in my life. And now they're at the point where they're like, I don't know if he's serious or not, but okay. When I told my ESFJs I was gonna move to cross country, they laughed and thought I was crazy. I did it. When I told them I was gonna quit my job and focus on YouTube, they laughed and thought I was crazy. Here I am doing it. ESFJs, you guys will never fully understand the INTJ. And that's okay, because what makes us different is what makes us powerful. One of the craziest things about ESFJs that I've noticed, and you guys do this the best out of every other type, is that you guys build comfort with other people by complaining, sometimes gossiping, but let's talk about complaining first. You guys are able to talk to people and complain about what you're working on, complain about life, complain about something, and it builds comfort with other people. That is so counterintuitive to how an INTJ works. You guys love complaining. And before you guys click out of this video, just hear me out real quick, because let me explain what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that INTJs or other types don't complain. We all do. We're all human. It's the frequency at which we do it and the reason why we do it that's different. To make it as simple as possible, for every one time an INTJ would complain about something, the ESFJ would have complained about 5 to 10 other things. But this doesn't include when the INTJ is complaining to their spouse or significant other, because extroverted thinking really does want to complain. We just don't like complaining to too many people. ESFJs, you guys just have to complain about things, and we might be one of the things that you guys complain about. It's similar to how an INTJ hates wasting time. You guys need to complain about something. You just need to get it out. That doesn't mean you care about us less. Sometimes it actually means the opposite, and I'm aware of that. So here we are as an INTJ who doesn't like complaining too often because we'd rather just fix the issue and be done with it. Here's the ESFJ, where you guys are so vocal about your complaints, about people, about whatever that you're working on. You actually draw people in to you because of those complaints. I'm not going to go over the psyche of it because it's a video in itself, but you guys are able to utilize complaining to build comfort with other people. Even though I'm using the word complaining and it has a negative connotation, what's funny about you complaining to other people and building comfort is that the INTJs aren't immune to that. When you guys complain about something, INTJs, our natural instinct is to fix something. So when the ESFJ and the INTJ are very healthy, the ESFJ will complain about something, the INTJ will see it as a way to improve the relationship, and the INTJ will make an effort and actually fix the problem for the ESFJ if the ESFJ is healthy enough to accept help from the INTJ. So it's a very mutually beneficial relationship because our weaknesses are taken care of by the other person. I'm going to explain more about it when we get into cognitive functions. One of the common misunderstandings between both of our types is just our need to be either extroverted or introverted. ESFJs, you guys are so extroverted. You're one of the most extroverted type that I know out there. And every single ESFJ that I talk to, you guys are like, no, I'm introverted because I need time alone. Yeah, you need time alone, but comparatively to a type like an INTJ, it's nothing. You guys love to be social. You love to be part of the crowd. You love helping people. It's a need for you to be around people. My ESFJs are concerned when I tell them that on my birthday, I went on a hiking trail by myself. Not for my safety, but because I was alone. You guys felt bad for me. And it's so understandable because being part of a community and having a shared experience is so important to you. But as an INTJ, that stuff really doesn't matter to us. Or it doesn't matter as often as it does to you guys. INTJs are okay with doing stuff alone. And a lot of the times, we actually prefer that. So when the ESFJ hears that an INTJ is doing stuff alone, you guys either feel sad for us or don't understand it and have to accept it. It's just the way we're built. Both of our types are just built differently. But one of the best things about this relationship, and I cannot stress this enough because you guys do this better than any type out there, is that regardless of what an INTJ does or do, you guys always welcome us back with open arms. As an INTJ, we are constantly going to offend people. We are constantly going to say stuff that's against the tribe. Something that a lot of people are going to hate. We know people gossip about us. We know people are going to say negative things about us. And we know that you guys are probably one of them too. But when we're together, you guys create a safe space that allows us to grow. It's okay that you guys have an opinion. You guys don't take what we say personal because a lot of things that we say isn't meant to be personal. It's just taken that way. I've been around very healthy ESFJs where you guys are like saints. And I've been around the nastiest ESFJs that spread rumors and I don't know why. It doesn't seem logical that you would say nasty stuff about someone and then turn it around and say something positive around them when you're together. And again, this usually only happens when you're in a very unhealthy state or if it's someone that you just don't like. As an INTJ, if I don't like someone, they're going to know I don't like them because I'm never going to be around them. But for you guys are okay with still being around them even if you don't like them. It's so freaking odd. Since my channel is about MBTI, let's talk about cognitive functions. ESFJs and INTJs, we don't share the same 4 cognitive functions. And the cognitive function that ESFJs lead with, your primary, your hero function, your first function, your most common sense, extroverted feeling, is actually the trickster function for an INTJ or the blind spot for an INTJ. Extroverted feeling is the function that the INTJ has the most difficult time engaging with or understand because most of the time it doesn't make sense to us. which causes conflict between the two of us. But because you guys have extrovert feeling as your first function and INTJs have extrovert thinking as your second function, both of our type actually cares about working things out between each other. My understanding of that is because you guys have extrovert feeling, you guys don't like bad vibes, but for an INTJ, we don't like things to be inefficient, even when it comes down to our relationships. So when there's a misunderstanding between the two of us, we both actually want to fix it, even though our approach to fixing the problem is from completely different methods. And again, everything I talk about is from a very healthy relationship. If either of the two are unhealthy, then it's not going to work out. A very unsung hero for this dynamic, for this relationship, is the second cognitive function for ESFJs, introverted sensing. In a very simplified way of explaining introverted sensing, introverted feeling cares about comfort, especially when it comes down to the sensory world, things that we can engage with. INTJs have introverted sensing in our 8th stack. That's something that we never care about. So whenever an INTJ is around an ESFJ, you guys actually make us engage with the world in a way that we don't really care about. Whether it's eating really good food, whether it's being on a very comfy couch, or whether it's turning on the AC or turning up the heat when we're in a car. INTJs are so oblivious to these things sometimes that it's so nice to have someone take charge of it. And as an ESFJ, you guys actually care about us enough to actually think about it before we even say anything. And for an INTJ, how we reciprocate our love is through introverted intuition and extroverted thinking. ESFJs, you guys are great at taking care of people, but you guys are not the best at taking care of yourself. There's so many things, so many systems that you could put in place that can make your life so much easier. And an INTJ will tell you, we're not going to force you to do it, but we're going to let you know if you do this, this, or this, life will be easier. And it's also really nice when an ESFJ comes to an INTJ for help, because extroverted thinking wants to be helpful too. It still is our people function. So let us help you fix problems that you don't want to fix. If the INTJ loves you, if you're part of our FI, we're going to do it. So it's a win-win situation. The third cognitive function for ESFJ is extroverted intuition. And as a NI Dom, I fucking love that shit. You guys don't utilize it much, but when you guys start engaging with it, it's so funny because you guys are able to keep up with all the ridiculous things that I would say naturally. One of the most fun that I have with ESFJs is if we're around other people and I just naturally troll someone or say something that's very off the wall and they would follow along. It's so out of character for them that when they do that, I'm just so proud. Like, yes, let's keep this intuition going. Let's see where we can end up. Other types who are not privy to intuition doesn't really understand, but it's one of the most fun things to do with ESFJs when you guys are able to keep up with intuition and just mess around with people. Introverted thinking is the last cognitive function for ESFJs, and when you guys use that, it's very interesting to watch. And I'm not saying it negatively because I'm pretty sure that's how you guys feel about INTJs when we engage with extroverted sensing. When out of the blue, we just love attention. When you guys engage with extroverted thinking, a lot of times you guys are very paralyzed with it because there's so much logic to it that kind of goes against how you normally engage the world. You guys are logical people, but a lot of the things you guys do goes against logic when it comes down to other people. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing because there's positive and negatives with everything, but when you guys are set in your logic, because of introverted thinking, you guys are a completely different person because you guys aren't as nice as you guys usually are. And for a lot of people, we're taken aback when that happens because it's your fourth function. You're not the best at it. So there's a lot of information that you're typically missing, especially when it comes down to a logical standpoint. But because you have introverted thinking, you think that that is the right way of doing things. And when you don't engage with other people like you normally do, you're missing a lot of information. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. What I am saying is that there's a lot of information that needs to be considered, especially when you're talking to an INTJ who's always thinking about possibilities. So who's always like, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. I really do believe that the INTJ and the ESFJ pairing is one of the best pairing out there. Not only because we help each other with our weaknesses, but as an INTJ myself, you guys get me out. You guys are the reasons why I meet so many people. You guys are the reason why INTJs may seem social if they're around you, because you're a social person. So by proximity, the INTJ is a social person as well. And the INTJ will help you by talking about things that are not down to earth, that are a little more abstract, that comes with planning for the future, that has some practical use for it. Because we have extroverted thinking and extroverted sensing, we do see in real world terms, we just don't see the details. So in conclusion of this video, INTJs love and respect the ESFJs because you guys provide such a safe and comforting place for an INTJ to grow. Regardless of how many times you guys complain about us or how little we might understand each other, it's so comfortable to be around you guys because we know we are always welcomed around you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.